Hello! Welcome to Stephanie Uncensored. The book that I have today is going to be called Infiltration, and it is by Maya Newberry. I read this book, it's a standalone book, and it's a romance, it's interracial, and it has some military aspects to it. So, this book has a character named Lynn. She is a communication specialist for this private security company, and she ends up falling or having a crush, infatuation on the special ops operator that she is the communications officer for. So what she does is that she listens to the missions that he's on, and she has read his file and ends up falling for him. And his name is Nate, and he's a special ops operator that has a mission over in China, and something terribly goes wrong. So the two of them are speaking through the mission, and they end up falling in love with each other, and other things happen. The mission goes awry, and they have to deal with that. It didn't feel for me that I didn't connect with the story very well. I only gave it 3 stars, and that's because I didn't connect with and believe that they had fallen in love. The story doesn't line up to show you that, you know, through their communications that they had any kind of personal contact. It was all talking about the mission, and then, you know, some other things happen, and like 50% into the story, it was like, oh, we're in love, and now we're hooking up, and, you know, we're going to get married, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was like, really? I just don't believe it. So, it was a jumbled storyline, because then at the same time you had some other characters jump in there, you had some other situations go in there, and then by the end of the story I was just like, ugh, I'm so over this. And unfortunately I didn't particularly care for this book. That's why it only got 3 stars. I completely respect the author, but it just wasn't very good for me. I wanted to love this story because the premise behind, you know, the special ops operator, communication specialist, and the special ops operator out in the field falling in love, that was like really cool to me. And I was like, oh yeah, I can, you know, totally relate to that, being that I was in the military, and, you know, that you had communications just over the, you know, airways, and you knew what this person looked like because you had their file, but at the same time they don't know what you look like. And then their call signs were fun, and it just was like, I wanted to love the story, but it was very hard to get through. It was a quick read, but yeah, only 3 stars, and that's Infiltration by Maya Newberry.